Welcome po to Lira in Law. And thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday. Ang pangalan ko po, my name is Lira Simon Kabatbat. I am a solicitor in the United Kingdom of, wait for it, 33 years post-qualification experience. So ibig sabihin, that does not even include the studying time, which was long enough, and then on top of that, the training time, which again was long enough. So if you add it all up together, then I am, I think, something like nearly 40 years, in law. But post-qualification experience nga is 33 years. I work at Douglas Simon Solicitors. It is my law firm nga, and my office. We have been around for 28 years, actually. 28 years. So, mas matanda ako sa opisina. There you go. So thank you very much for joining me on our usual get-together, as I say, on a Thursday evening, at Lira in Law, coming broadcasting from live as usual from London, England. We are based in Greater London, which is in Richmond, the district line, the end of the district line. So thank you very much for joining me as usual. As usual nga po, is going to be packed with, I hope, useful stuff. Ang pag-uusapan po natin nga ngayon is carers. By when I say carers, is actually I'm using it interchangeably. So we're also looking at senior carers. At saka, as usual, we're going to be looking at practical stuff. Yung topic nga natin actually came from a client who has posed to me questions nga to do with her care visa. So she's very kindly said, yeah, I can use nga her scenario. And obviously I'm not going to name names or provide details, but or their actual details nga, but the scenario is true to life. And that is going to be our topic nga mamaya. Not just that, of course, we're also looking at I think someone's asked about spousal visas, unmarried partner route, also visit visas, also asking about what's the position with Wales, if someone's in England nga, or at the moment, and they're going to Wales, what does that mean? Do they need a new visa for Wales? Actually, no. Again, it's a great question, because you don't it's not one that's asked usually, but it's very practical, it's very relevant nga yung question nga. So pag-uusapan po natin, we have lots and lots of topics nga ngayon. And the main issue is, as I say, that of carers. So ang gagawin ko po, I'm going to explain the scenario later on after the break nga, and then talk about, okay, with this kind of case, what now needs to happen. And we're going to try and see if we can unravel it, and actually look at what can the client now do. And also on top of that, of course, are the other questions nga. Now, so we're going to just take a quick break, because we don't have time to waste on breaks nga, because we have lots to talk about. And saglit nga lang po, I'm coming right back, and then we're going to launch into our topic, as I say, carers, changes to carers, and also the practical issue of this this client who's looking to change from her care visa to something else. So saglit nga lang po, I'm coming right back. Join me then. Welcome back po. Thank you very much again for joining me at Lira in Law, our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. And of course, as usual, we're going to be looking at practical issues nga, no topics that concern you, and I'll try and help where I can. So I'm your host, as I said before nga, ang pangalan ko po Lira Simon Kabatbat, working for Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are a firm in London, in Greater London, end of the district line, Richmond, which is a very nice area. So thank you very much for joining me on this cold Thursday evening. No, it's got a bit cold. Anyway, I must not waste our time on weather because we have lots to get through nga tonight. So topic po natin ngayon, and if you're watching, this, I hope that you are. If you're watching the person or the persons actually, whose scenario we're going to be discussing. My apologies, but I'm going to be speaking partly in Tagalog, no? But after tonight, if you wish to discuss it with me afterwards, give me a call. But anyway, I hope that you can follow it also. Now, so ang sitwasyon po ito, the client, is here on a skilled worker visa, senior care. So for those of you who have this type of visa, the code, as you know, is 6136. Now, she was granted leave to remain in the UK for 5 years, actually, which is unusual. Usually 3 years nga lang unang binibigay. But this client was given 5 years, dire-diretso, no? Now, she's 1 year into her current leave, so she still has 4 years to go. But unfortunately, she's lost her job, no? Not unlike many carers in this situation, indeed senior carers, because her employer's license was suspended. No? Now, to make matters worse, she came to the United Kingdom with her husband. So yung asawa niya, dumating dyan, sabay nga silang dumating dito, yung asawa niya entered the United Kingdom as dependent of a skilled worker. No? So they're both here. Now, yung asawa niya, nagtatrabaho din sa hospital. No? And now, because he's done very well, they wanted to also issue him with his own cost certificate of sponsorship, not least because there were concerns about the wife nga. So they have actually issued him, the hospital issued the husband, who is the dependent nga, a cost of his own. Under code 6131. I know I'm sorry that I'm talking about codes, but for those of you who are directly affected by this, I hope that you'll be pleased. I'm talking about codes, no? So 6131 auxiliary nurse, for example, no? And that was issued before the 22nd of July, which is good. Now, why is that date important? It's important because from the 22nd of July, the skill threshold for skilled worker route eligibility has gone up from level 3 to levels RQF level 6. Now, the 6131 auxiliary nurse is actually level 5, so it's medium skill set. So they needed to issue it, therefore, before the 22nd of July, which they did. Okay. Now, can he therefore? So just to recap nga, nandito yung kalayante ko, skilled worker, senior care. Kasama yung asawa niya, but yung asawa niya was then issued his own cost certificate of sponsorship before the deadline, which was the 22nd of July, which is only a little over a month ago. Now, so first question nga nila is, could he vary his leave to remain from that of a dependent, of a skilled worker to an actual skilled worker? The answer is yes, you can, especially, because the cost was issued on the 22nd of July. So, unang-una nga, sabi ko kanila, okay, you need to make an application to for visa nga, pursuant to that cost within 3 months of issuance of the cost, which he will do. Okay? Next question, or more tricky, is can his wife, who's presently here on a skilled worker visa, then swap it over? So effectively, they're changing, So she would then become his dependent, and that is where it becomes tricky. So can she apply either in country, or out from outside the United Kingdom to either remain or join him in the UK as his dependent. No? Now remember, that this new visa is the skilled worker route. Code nga is 6311. Okay. Now, usually, because so after the 22nd of July, which is of course now, no. So if he were issued a visa after that time, so you normally can't bring your dependents unless the original skilled worker visa began before the 22nd of July. Okay? Now, of course, he's not been given a visa yet, but all he got was, of course, the cost. But she's already in the UK. No, it's not that she's in another country coming into the United Kingdom. So let's look at that a little bit more. So normally, you can't switch a dependent skilled worker route to a dependent skilled worker route if you are on a visit visa, short-term student visa, parent of a child student visa, seasonal worker, domestic worker, on immigration bail, or you have permission outside the normal rules. But there's no mention, okay, of a dependent skilled work visa to be no mention of the skilled work visa at the same time. Okay, so it's strictly speaking, at least looking at the limitations, she can. So what to do? No? So unang-una nga, husband should apply to have his visa, okay, because he has already a cost. So he will then get a reference number. Now, she then needs to make an application, no, to vary her leave to remain from that effectively of a skilled worker to a dependent nga. Pero kailangan niya nga yung code, no? Now, if her application is refused, which could be, no, she can then apply for administrative review to challenge it. And if refused, again, possibly judicial review, but hopefully it will not be. So in this case, it's a weird scenario nga, no? Because you have then someone who is on a skilled work dependent visa who's swapping it to a skilled work visa, and the dependent who's currently the skilled worker route is swapping it to the dependent visa, which at the moment I could not find a provision exactly for this, but there appear to be no there appear to be no prohibition, no, to swapping it the other way. So in this case, weirdly, they're swapping over, and on the face of it, they can do that. But importante nga, you should do this fairly quickly, okay? Because it's possible that this, what appears to be kind of a loophole, no, or at least it's not clear at the moment. They may clarify it negatively. So if I were you, kung ako ikaw, I would do it. No, make the applications na nga ngayon. And I say again, if you, I'm sorry, I'm speaking partly nga in Tagalog. If you wish for me to clarify it, give me a call tomorrow. Okay, but thank you very much for allowing me nga to explain your scenario, and hopefully this is of help to you. But it's not, I was going to say it's an unusual scenario, but it's actually not really unusual. This will likely happen more frequently now, because a lot of skilled workers, carers, enter the United Kingdom, and may have found themselves without a job because their sponsors, their licenses were suspended. So it's probably a scenario that will come up more frequently na nga. Now, still on the issue nga of carers, immigration changes to the care sector. Let's look at that a little bit more, outside that scenario nga. So carers, I'm looking at code 6135 and 6136 and their dependents, no? So the Home Office announced, and this is a while back, so changes additionally are, so this is from the Home Office website nga, sabi nila, your partner and children can only apply to your dependents if you were employed in the UK as a care worker or senior care worker, or and on a health and care worker visa or skilled worker visa before the 11th of March 2024. So that means if you are here on a care visa 6135 and 6136 after that date, so the 11th of March 2024, you can't apply then for your immediate family, spouse, and children under 18 to join in the UK. But if you are here before that date, you can, right? If you got the visa before that date, before the 11th of March 2024, the magic date, okay, you can apply. So if you're already in the United Kingdom before that time, especially, you got your visa before the 11th of March 2024. If you want to bring your family, that is, you're looking at your children and spouse, you may. Okay? So it's not. It's all, again, a scenario that I get asked a lot. Additional change is sponsor licenses. Now, this is a bit worrying to say the least. No? So again, this is from the Home Office website. Sabi nga nila, between July 2022 and December 2024, so what's that, 2.5 years, not quite, no? The government has revoked more than 470 sponsor licenses in the care sector. They say to clamp down on abuse and exploitation. There are more than 39,000 workers have been associated with these sponsors since October 2020. So 39,000 potential people now without leave to remain because their visas have been curtailed. So to try and counter that, to try and help people the 39,000 people who may have lost their job, the Home Office set up what's called a displaced worker scheme. The idea being that they would put in touch, the worker, the employee, with other with sponsors, with care homes, for example, now, or who are looking for employees. I'm not sure that that's worked very well now at the moment. So time will tell whether it's helpful, but there are many carers there. So the upshot of it is there are many carers at the moment looking for employment. But because of what I'm about to say about closure and also the limitations of carers now, I think that will probably change again, because there's clearly a need for carers to enter the UK. Now also, and this is again something that people have asked me about, can you still come into the United Kingdom as a carer, senior carer? The answer is no. Yeah? They closed that route, that is 6135 and 6136, and that was implemented on the 22nd of July 2025, so over a month ago. Okay, a bit worrying. I've had people say to me, oh, their agencies, this is still, it seems at the moment, saying, oh yeah, we're going to sponsor you as a carer and senior carer. But the route is closed 22nd of July 2025. So the route is closed for those entering the United Kingdom, looking to enter the United Kingdom on that basis. But of course, if you're already here, and you got your visa before that time, then you can continue to work in the UK. So don't worry if you're already here and you are working as a carer or indeed senior care worker. So other proposed changes is something that I dealt with a few weeks ago. In May, the Home Office or the government announced via the white paper their intentions regards immigration. They're looking to extend the 5-year currently required before you can get indefinite leave to remain. They're looking to extend that to 10 years. If you ask me, is that likely to happen? Yeah, I think it will happen. We don't know exactly when, but I suspect it can even be a matter of a few weeks. So if you can make an application, if you're entitled now because you've clocked up 5 years, advice call, you should do it. Okay, you should absolutely do it. Now, I'm sorry that I didn't mean to be technical in referring out the codes, but I hope that was helpful because we had to be specific now. So lots and lots and lots of changes to care visas, healthcare workers anyway. So try if you can, try and tune in, because I will always try and keep you up to date. Now we have lots and lots of questions, additional questions now, Mamaya. But before that, we're going to get to my favorite part. of the show. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're finding our topic useful, and there's some more topics to come, don't forget, sharing is caring. So share our content nga, no? It could be that meron kayong kilala who may be helped by this, or meron kayong kilala na merong kilala, no, who can be helped by this. And this is, it's free of charge. So it may be that even if it doesn't fit them exactly, it could be that something is helpful within our discussion, or maybe we'll just give them our details. No, I'm happy to assist where I can. So sharing is caring. So you should share. Okay. Now, we are on our Batian section. Okay, Batian. So I do hope that people are going to say hello. And if you're watching and you have not yet said hello, and you're looking to say hello, don't be shy. Do say hello. Okay. So tingnan natin. Hopefully may bumabati sa akin. Oh, Priya. Hello. Right. Would you please explain to me about displacement scheme? Absolutely. It is a scheme that was, as I say, introduced now by the Home Office. But you know what you should do? If you simply, there's actually the website, the Home Office website has a very good section as to the process. In fact, to do this, no? I will, if you email me your details, I will send you the link tomorrow, okay? And hopefully it makes, it helps. So the two ways of doing it is absolutely go for the displacement scheme, no harm. And also, in any event, you should still make applications. But beware, you do need a sponsor with a license. There are not many of those at the moment. Okay. Now, I'm sure there are other questioners, so it's questions. Miss Paner, Mariang Galicia Paner. Hello po, attorney, sabi niya, no? At sa lahat, happy Thursday po. Very interesting topics with, oh, gorgeous. She's so kind. Gorgeous, sabi niya, Attorney Lira. Salamat po. How are you, Miss Paner? I hope you well. Ano tayo ngayon? Nakalimutan ko, buwan na nga. So, we are now, September na tayo, no? September. Yeah, so 5 years ago, Miss Paner, I think it was this. So yeah, 5 years ago, over 5 years ago, no, we started this, no, broadcasting. Oh, David Calixto the second. Good evening, Attorney Lira. He's so kind to follow us. No, nasa Pilipinas siya. For those of you who are just tuning in, bago nga kayo, David or David nga, no, in the UK you would say nga, is joining us from the Philippines. And sa atin ngayon, madaling araw. So he's either you're up late, or he's getting up especially for us. Either way, salamat. Thank you very much for joining us. No, always a pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure. Now, tingnan natin if there's the other ones. Egay, of course. Oh, he's lovely. We love Egay. Egay, the great guy from London. No, rainy Thursday. No, tama ka, no? Attorney Lira, and to the viewers. I work from Canary Wharf today and taking care of Justin now. Justin is his young man. Still good news, Attorney Lira. I'm still tap send ambassador. It's a money remittance to the Philippines. Bonus of 15 pounds. 15 pounds, huh? For first-time users. Looking forward to lots of learning again into Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Oh, salamat, no? Egay, the great guy. He is a great guy. Like Miss Paner, Egay and I have been together now for a while. I can't believe it. We have now been doing this. No, I've been broadcasting for 5 years. Astonishing. 5 years. How did that happen? Where did the time go? No, where did the time go? But and thank you very much for joining me all this time, keeping me company. Natalia de Guzman, President. I love her. I'm going to take a roll call. No. Do you remember in the at school? I don't know if they do it now. Because I'm so old now. I don't actually know what they do now but in the past, no, if you remember, the teacher will call your name and you say present, and she is. Miss Rafael, Emmeline Rafael, the lovely, lovely Miss Rafael, who hails from Wimbledon, no? The iconic place, Wimbledon. Hello, good evening, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, and happy Thursday, everyone. And she's feeling good because she's all in caps, all in capital letters. She's lovely. Miss Rafael she's actually, you're in the UK at the moment, Miss Rafael, no? You're usually traveling about this time, aren't you? Now, I hope you're going on holiday. Watching from home in Wimbledon. Yeah. Said, I tell you, Wimbledon, katatapos nga lang, ano, nung, as you know, Wimbledon is a very iconic place. And of course, tennis, Wimbledon. I hope you can catch the tennis. Actually, the Wimbledon the ballot, for tennis is open now, and I actually signed up. I hope I get something yesterday. So if you're looking to watch, if you want to watch tennis, sign up now. Go on their website. Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones, a windy Thursday evening to Attorney Lira and everyone watching. You are so right, Miss Jones. Today, I kind of get used to it being warm. I mean, I looked out of the window this morning. I thought, oh yeah, it's quite warm. It's quite sunny, and so I had a sleeveless on. Wow! So now you can see I have my jacket on. Mr. Duway Edgar, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Dagdag kaalaman na naman. Salamat po. How was your daughter's birthday on Sunday, di ba? Yeah, was that good? Tumatanda na tayo, sir, no? Everyone is getting so much younger. I was actually saying sa opisina namin, we have a few new joiners nga, no? And my gosh, ang bata nila. So astonishing. Bata nila. Ni Huang, no? Good evening, ma'am. Sabi niya, no? Send the documents already in your email, waiting for your advice. Did you? Titingnan ko. Okay? So can you just resend? We shouldn't be talking like this, online, no? But anyways, resend nga. Miss Nadella. Reese Nadella, sabi niya, hello, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. Hello, madam. Are you well? Are you in the UK? Miss Nadella is one of the hardest working people, actually, I know. And she's probably top 10 cheeriest people I know. A lot of people I know, you kind of things go wrong or you think life gets you down. Not with Miss Nadella. Miss Nadella is always happy. She is astonishing. She truly is astonishing. Well, a lot of you are, no? Speaking of astonishing, Ma'am Cora Carsola, magandang gabi, Attorney Lira, and everyone. Love you all. We love you, Ma'am Cora, no? She is lovely, actually, Ma'am Cora. I've met her. I've had the privilege now of meeting her, and she's great. She's one of the pioneers in the UK. So it's thank you very much for joining me again. Really, it's always a pleasure po. Miss Paner, sabi niya, I'm doing well po, salamat po. Opo, it's already 5 years na po. Always informative topic. Yeah, it's astonishing, Miss Paner. It's 5 years. So we have been together half a decade. Can you imagine? Half a decade. Wow. It's it is that is so weird. That is so weird. If you hear someone now, that is my dog, Watson. Okay? He's looking at me. So if you hear that, that's not me making a noise. So when you and I were first getting to doing this, no, Ms. Paner, Watson was 5 years younger. Mr. Rafael, yes, I'm still here in London, sabi niya. Aww. I hope you go on holiday, no? It's strange. It's now September, which means we are closer now to December na naman, no? Astonishing. Okay, guys, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, may nagpapatanong about travel. Yung hotel advertise ay may bathtub. Okay? Kaya, binook nila. Nung tumawag sila sa hotel, wala daw bathtub sa hotel. This seems like false advertising. What can they do? It is, of course, not what it says on the tin, no? And if it's something that they confirmed before, so ang payo ko, confirm it, because if they haven't been already, if it's part of the reason why it was booked and it was certain, that that's the reason why, because some people, they want a bathtub, especially if you have kiddies, you want to be able to bathe them in a bathtub, then they can try and get some compensation. But you'll find in the small print with a lot of hotels, they say we can't guarantee the rooms and amenities in the room. So look at the small print. So if that's the case, and that was almost inevitably the case, then it's probably unlikely they'll be able to get some compensation. But hotels often also just give you, knock a bit off for the inconvenience. So, but let me know actually, because now it's holiday season pa rin, no? So a lot of our viewers nga, mga kaibigan natin, may actually be quite interested. Now, mustn't forget, we have lots more questions. I get carried away with the batian because I really enjoy saying, people saying hello and me saying hello back. So if you're watching and you're shy, don't be shy. Just between us, say hello. But before anything, let me launch into our next questions. Must not forget. Now, so let's just have a look here. Okay. Now, I need advice as I'm a dependent on a 5-year skilled worker visa, but I just discovered my visa was canceled on the 18th of July without my knowledge, as my share code no longer works. And although my wife and I have had minor issues, nothing serious, what should be my next step? No, I think maybe this was the last week also. No, so unang-una, ang payo ko. Okay. Well, let me just go back to that, because actually it was a question that was asked of me on different matter, different viewer, or rather a client. Yeah. So in that case, ang una nga, share codes may not actually, of course, share codes expire. They don't last forever, and once you've used it also, then it's gone. So otherwise they're only valid for 90 days. So ang payo ko, just check out the share code, that it's not just because it's expired the 90 days, and failing that, if that's your situation, kausapin ng asawa mo. Anyway, so I hope that's helpful to you. Now let's have a look at the next question. I need advice. So, I just want to make sure, sabi niya dito, okay, Wales. Oh, this I liked actually, because when I read this, I thought, oh yeah, actually that's quite a good question. Now, so sabi niya, I just want to make sure lang po, kailangan ko po ba ng visa papunta sa Wales, no? Sasama po ako sa school trip ng anak ko papunta sa Wales. Nag-search po ako. It says no need, pero gusto ko lang ma-sure. Also, need ko po bang magdala ng mga documents sa trip na ito? Now, okay. The UK's immigration system operates at a national level nga. Ibig sabihin, immigration laws, policies, procedures apply regardless of where you are or where you intend to be based. So in the United Kingdom. So same law will apply and regulations in England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland nga. No? There's some minor variations, mainly to do with employment. So for example, Scotland may say, so chemical scientists, only jobs in nuclear industry, that is applicable. They specifically says Scotland only, no? But otherwise it's the same. So wala kang kailangan. Kung ikaw, if you have limited leave to remain, just in case masita ka, it's not so much because it's in Wales, but just in case masita ka, make sure that you have a share code ready, and you have your confirmation of your leave to remain also ready. But otherwise you don't need anything to go to Wales now. You don't need anything. So now I have a good time. Wales is lovely. I wish I've only been to Wales the once, unfortunately. So I'd like to go again. It's a beautiful place. Now, so next question po ito. Hi po, mag-a-ask lang po sa extension ng visa. Ilang weeks po ba bago makakuha ng desisyon? Another question, if ever, yung expiration date ng visa ko is the 20th of October this year, pwede po bang mag-apply this coming September po? Now, so two points to that question nga. Mabagal sila ngayon. Let me just say that. It depends also partly on what kind of application you're submitting. Put it this way. We actually telephoned the Home Office for an existing application. Extension nga lang, last Monday, no? And sabi nila it's taking a minimum 12 months. So mabagal sila, no? Talaga mabagal sila. So don't, of course, no choice. You need to submit nga your application, and don't forget, if you submit your application nga and your visa in the meantime has expired, it doesn't mean na wala ka ng status nga dito, because of course pinasok mo yung application mo whilst the visa was still ongoing. But wag kayong lalabas. Kung lalabas kayo, then you automatically withdrawn your application. So, so palabas hindi problema. Pabalik, magkakaproblema kayo. So don't leave the country. Now, so sabi mo din dito, your visa is going to expire on the 20th of October. The guidance say you should submit your application no earlier than 28 days before it's going to expire. I tend to submit it about 5 weeks before. So 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 20th of October is fine. You can probably get away with submitting it just a few days before that. But you can of course submit it also after the 20th of September. Yeah. So 28 days. 28 days po. Now, tingnan ko nga if we have any other questions. I think we have. So ito, I'm asking for a friend, sabi niya. Oh, I like this one. He got his unmarried partner, dependent nga, from the Philippines. But naghiwalay, no, din dito sa UK. Now he's about to get married this year. Okay, with another lady from the Philippines, and would get her soon as a dependent. Is this possible po? Okay, to get her soon to be wife as dependent, even with his previous partner's existing visa, no? Need po bang i-declare sa Home Office na wala na sila, no, ng previous partner niya before entering into marriage? We need insights or thoughts about this po. We've read naman, pero need po naming personal experiences. Thank you po so much. I like this question because it touches actually quite a few things. Now, ito. So, let's just unpack it a little bit. So, ibig sabihin, so sabi niya, yung kaibigan niya, kinuha yung partner niya, unmarried partner. So, hindi nga sila kasal sa atin, no? Into the United Kingdom. Dumating dito, nakakuha siya ng partner visa. The partner visa has the same conditions as a spouse visa. Hindi nga lang sila kasal. That's the main difference nga. Now, nung nandito na yung partner nga niya, naghiwalay sila. No? Hindi silang kasunduan, naghiwalay nga sila. Now, yung partner niya, nandito pa rin. No? In the meantime, meron siyang nakilala o meron siyang nagustuhan nga sa atin. And so, ikakasal siya. So sabi niya, unmarried partner siya, the new partner, sabi niya, kasal tayo, magpapakasal nga sila. So, nandito yung old partner, hindi sila kasal, yung panibago niyang partner, nasa Pilipinas, gusto niyang kunin, pero magpapakasal sila. Pwede ba? Great question. No? Now, let's unpack that a bit more. So ito, for the unmarried partner route, as I've said, the conditions are much the same. The main difference is there's no marriage. Pero kailangan niyo pa rin pakita, and the unmarried partner route also means you need to be able to show nga that you're in a relationship like a marriage, no? A minimum of 2 years. You don't have to be living together anymore because that law changed nga. But you need to be able to show a relationship like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. What does that mean? So it means that, for example, you share, resources. Napapadala ka. He or she's living in your home. No, you've been supporting them. You have assets together, or better yet, meron kayong anak. No, because that's all. Children are probably the best way of proving that indeed it's a relationship like a marriage. Now, if you can prove that, and your income is the sponsor's income is no less than £29,000, which is the new limit. Yeah, there's accommodation in the United Kingdom. You have passed the English language, which at the moment is A1 level, but that's likely to change. The Home Office, the government have said they want to increase that to A2 at the minimum. So if you can tick all those boxes, then visa bibigay sa'yo, partner visa, which means it's 2.5 years. Usually it's a little bit more than that. During that time, pwede ka magtrabaho dito. You can come in and out of the United Kingdom without needing a new entry clearance visa. You can even access NHS care because you're ordinarily resident in the United Kingdom nga. But you cannot claim benefits, for example. So no universal credit, no, or housing benefit nga. So ang nangyari sa kanya, he was able to obviously, or I'm assuming she was able to come into the United Kingdom as a partner because she ticked all those conditions now. But unfortunately, dumating nga siya dito, hindi sila nagkasunduan. Naghiwalay sila, no? Now, the partner who's in the United Kingdom, the sponsor, I'm assuming again he here, met someone else and wished to marry that person, and he's free to marry because he's unmarried at the moment. No, now what should he now do? Because the partner, the old partner is here, the new partner, soon to be wife, is in the Philippines. Can he still sponsor her? The answer is yes. But and this is where the next bit is. Ano kailangan niyang gawin in order to make that happen? And una nga ito, you have to tell the Home Office that the relationship has ended. It's actually a legal obligation on you to do that. So if you haven't done so, you have to. So you have to tell them that relationship has ended. So yung first question nga nito, do you have to say, that before entering into marriage, not necessarily before entering into marriage, but certainly before you make the application for your wife to enter the UK. And in any event, you are obliged, to inform them within a reasonable period of time that relationship has ended. So you actually, if you haven't done so already, kailangan gawin, because it's a legal obligation so to do. So that would be the first issue. Now, when she makes an application, so sabihin natin, umuwi siya, nagpakasal sila nga doon, kukunin niya. So the Home Office are aware of the previous relationship ending. Now, you're looking to make an application for your wife then, to come into the United Kingdom as your dependent. You still need to show exactly the same thing, except of course you're married now. You don't have to be living together, or you don't have to have a relationship akin to marriage, a minimum of 2 years, because you're married. That requirement, the 2-year requirement, falls away if you are married. But you still need to show still the same thing: income no less than £29,000, which is the new limit. Accommodation, of course. The issue of relationship nga, and you also, and this is my tip to you, explain what had happened with the previous application. You need to declare it, when you're submitting an application, ang payo ko, prepare a statement. The statement should set out what it is that other things, so explain nga, your former partner entered the United Kingdom on so date, that relationship broke down. You informed the Home Office of the breakdown of that relationship. In the meantime, you met someone else, or maybe you knew her from before, and you then married, and you now wish for your spouse to enter the United Kingdom as your spouse. You do need to explain it. Ang payo ko nga din, give it a little bit more explanation, Ano bang nangyari? It doesn't have to be necessarily so detailed. I mean, the relationship nga ended. That's the whole point, and you inform the Home Office of that. Make sure that you do inform the Home Office nga, because otherwise magdududa sila sa'yo, because not only you would then have effectively 2 partners. You're seeking to apply for a second partner to enter the UK, and they may then say that relationship had not ended, and for that reason they're refusing your new partner's application. So make sure, ang pinaka-importante nga dito is that you inform them, no, of the end of that relationship. It's otherwise you may find that your wife's application is then refused. So importante po. There are also some likely to be changes, to family applications. I think the main one that's probably going to come into place at the moment is an A1 English level in English language. I think it's probably just a matter of very short space of time before they increase that to at least an A2. For most of my clients, A2 is not a problem, but of course it is a higher and more and harder level of English. And then in due course, when you're making an application for indefinite leave to remain for settlement status, they also said rather than the B1, which is currently the case, they're likely to increase that to B2. Actually, the difference between B1 and B2 is quite a lot. So you will find the B2 is quite a harder. It's a harder test to pass. But with working hard, hopefully you'll be able to. But at the moment, hindi pa yon. But it will likely happen. Probably, very likely happen. One thing hopefully that will not happen is any increase to the minimum income requirement, which presently stands at £29,000. You will remember in the past it was 18,600, but now it's £29,000, and that's been in place since 2023. Okay? MAC, that is the Migration Advisory Committee, advised, in fact, the government only in, I think it was July, when they published their report, and they basically said they don't think that they don't see that it needs increasing to beyond £29,000. The government before they wanted to increase it from 29 to 34,000, later on to 38,700. So could be that this government may be looking to increase it to 34,000 or maybe a little bit less, but in between. MAC so far said probably not necessary. £29,000 seem to be, according to them, it depends, of course, what you're looking to achieve. But £29,000 is likely they deem a reasonable sum. So hopefully hindi na nga tataas beyond £29,000. But at the moment, £29,000 po. And make sure if you're employed, you need to be able to show that income nga for at least 6 months. And so kung ako kayo, if you are looking to apply, make sure that tabi nyo yung P60 nyo, which would have been issued in April. I know that we're now September, but it's always good to be able to show the previous year. So it will cover April 2024 to April 2025, and then of course yung payslip mo nga from April up until now, which I think is about 6 months nga. So hopefully that is helpful nga. So don't forget that. The income is quite important nga. Quite important. But I like this question that it's not an unusual situation to be in, because even with the best will in the world, it can, relationships unfortunately can and do break down. And what do you do then if there are if you sponsored, if you like, someone to enter the United Kingdom on the basis of your relationship and it hasn't worked out, and the other way around, of course, what happens to you if you enter the United Kingdom and that relationship has not worked out and you met someone else? Potentially you can look to vary your leave to remain. But okay, that's another question. I don't want to. Let's not get into that. Yeah. So I hope that was of help to you, And I say again, kung meron kayong kilala, you think would be helped by this, you should share our content. Libre naman eh. So share it. Sharing is caring, And if you have any questions, and you want me to deal now with with the issue for next week, just email us. As long as I have it by Wednesday, No, I'll try my best to deal with it nga, no, on air. And if you are if it's one that becomes our star question, we'll deal with it in more detail. So as I have with our earlier one, yeah. Now, tignan nga natin. Unless I don't think, I think so don't be shy. If you want to say hello now. But that's it's wow. It's been quite it's quite a lot of topic, you know. Big topic. Oh, May Tigbao Vargas. Hello, good evening to everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, May. It's happy cold Thursday. Umulan sa iyo? It's so it's yeah, I think summer's finished. Oh. Well, summer was going to finish, but then we now have autumn. The leaves will turn brown, red. No, the trees will lose their leaves, plants lose their leaves, but it's beautiful. And then we have winter. Winter. No? Yeah, and May is in. You're in Devon, no? Di ba, May? So lovely neck of the woods. Lovely neck of the woods. Now, it's thank you very much again for joining me. No, it's our usual Thursday get together. And as I say, kung meron mga questions, make sure you send that to me before next Wednesday, and I'll try and deal with it. And if you have any questions nga from our topic tonight, again, nevertheless, email me, and I'm happy to try and help where I can. No? And sharing is caring, so share our contents. But otherwise, it just leaves me really to say, no, salamat po for joining me. And no, 5 years after we started this, we're still doing it, nga, no. And thank you po for taking the time, no, and listening to me. I do enjoy it. I really do. No, I hope it comes across because I'm quite keen and quite passionate about our topics, nga. I hope you'll be able to join me again next week during for our usual live Lira and Law. Thank you again for all the Facebook groups nga, for allowing us to post our contents on their pages, and of course our usual mga kaibigan, our usual viewers. Thank you very much for putting up with me. Always a pleasure. So it just leaves me really to say thank you again. And I hope that you'll be able to join me again next week. Same time, same place at Lira in Law. Lira in Law. Good night. Salamat po.